Section 1 from the book of Genesis. Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. He came to a certain place and stayed there all night, because the sun had set. He took one of the stones of the place and put it under his head and lay down in that place to sleep. He dreamed and saw a stairway set upon the earth, and its top reached to heaven. Behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. Behold, Forever One stood above it and said, I am Forever One, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. I will give the land you lie on to you and to your offspring. Your offspring will be as the dust of the earth, and you will spread abroad to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south. In you and in your offspring all the families of the earth will be blessed. Behold, I am with you, and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you again into this land. For I will not leave you until I have done that which I have spoken of to you. Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and he said, Surely Forever One is in this place, and I didn't know it. He was afraid and said, How awesome this place is! This is none other than God's house, and this is the gate of heaven. Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put under his head and set it up for a pillar and poured oil on its top. He called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the city was Luz at the first. Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and clothing to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, and Forever One will be my God, then this stone which I have set up for a pillar will be God's house. Of all that you will give me, I will surely give 1/10 to you. Then Jacob went on his journey and came to the land of the children of the east. He looked, and saw a well in the field, and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying there by it, for out of that well they watered the flocks. The stone on the well's mouth was large. There all the flocks were gathered. They rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. Section 2 from the book of Judges. There set out from there of the family of the Danites, out of Zorah and out of Eshtaol, 600 men, girt with weapons of war. They went up and encamped in Kiriath-Jearim in Judah. Therefore they called that place Mahaneh Dan to this day. Behold, it is behind Kiriath-Jearim. They passed there to the hill country of Ephraim, and came to the house of Micah. Then the 5 men who went to spy out the country of Laish answered and said to their brothers, Do you know that there is in these houses an ephod and teraphim, and an engraved image and a molten image? Now therefore consider what you have to do. They turned aside there, and came to the house of the young man the Levite, even to the house of Micah, and asked him of his welfare. The 600 men, girt with their weapons of war, who were of the children of Dan, stood by the entrance of the gate. The 5 men who went to spy out the land went up, and came in there, and took the engraved image, and the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image, and the priest stood by the entrance of the gate, with the 600 men, girt with weapons of war. When these men went into Micah's house and fetched the engraved image, the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image, the priest said to them, What are you doing? They said to him, Hold your peace, put your hand on your mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. Is it better for you to be priest to the house of one man, or to be priest to a tribe and a family in Israel? The priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and the teraphim and the engraved image, and went in the midst of the people. So they turned and departed, and put the little ones and the livestock and the goods before them. When they were a good way from the house of Micah, the men who were in the houses near to Micah's house were gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. They cried to the children of Dan. They turned their faces and said to Micah, What troubles you, that you come with such a company? He said, "You have taken away my gods which I made, and the priest, and have gone away, and what more do I have? How then do you say to me, what troubles you?" The children of Dan said to him, "Don't let your voice be heard among us, lest angry fellows fall on you, and you lose your life with the lives of your household." The children of Dan went their way, and when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back to his house. They took what Micah had made, and his priest, and came to Laish, to a quiet and secure people, and struck them with the edge of the sword, and they burned the city with fire. There was no deliverer, because it was far from Sidon, and they had no dealings with any man, and it was in the valley that lies by Beth Rehov. They built the city, and lived in it. They called the name of the city Dan, after the name of Dan, their father, who was born to Israel. However, the name of the city was Laish at first. The children of Dan set up for themselves the engraved image, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, he and his sons were priests to the tribe of the Danites until the day of the captivity of the land. So they set up Micah's engraved image, which he made all the time that the house of God was in Shiloh. In those days, when there was no king in Israel, there was a certain Levite, living on the farther side of the hill country of Ephraim, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. His concubine played the prostitute against him, and went away from him to her father's house, to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there the space of 4 months. Her husband arose and went after her, to speak kindly to her, to bring her again, having his servant with him, and a couple of donkeys. And she brought him into her father's house, and when the father of the young lady saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. His father-in-law, the young lady's father, retained him, and he stayed with him 3 days. So they ate and drank and lodged there. Section 3, from the first book of Chronicles. The third captain of the army for the 3rd month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, chief, and in his division were 24,000. This is that Benaiah who was the mighty man of the 30, and over the 30, and of his division was Ammizabad his son. The 4th captain for the 4th month was Asahel the brother of Joab, and Zebadiah his son after him, and in his division were 24,000. The 5th captain for this 5th month was Shamhuth the Israelite, and in his division were 24,000. The 6th captain for the 6th month was Ira, the son of Ikish the Tekoite, and in his division were 24,000. The 7th captain for the 7th month was Helez the Pelonite, of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 8th captain for the 8th month was Sibbecai the Hushathite, of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The 9th captain for the 9th month was Abiezer the Anathothite, of the Benjamites, and in his division were 24,000. The 10th captain for the 10th month was Maharai the Netophathite, of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The 11th captain for the 11th month was Benaiah the Pirathonite, of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 12th captain for the 12th month was Heldai the Netophathite, of Othniel, and in his division were 24,000. Furthermore, over the tribes of Israel, of the Reubenites was Eleazar the son of Zikri, the ruler of the Simeonites, Shephatiah the son of Maacah, of Levi, Hashabiah the son of Kemuel, of Aaron, Zadok, of Judah, Elihu, one of the brothers of David, of Issachar, Omri the son of Michael, of Zebulun, Ishmaiah the son of Obadiah, of Naphtali, Jeremoth the son of Azriel, of the children of Ephraim, Hoshea the son of Azaziah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joel the son of Pedaiah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Iddo the son of Zechariah, Of Benjamin, Jaaziel, the son of Abner. Of Dan, Azarel, the son of Jeroham. These were the captains of the tribes of Israel. But David didn't take the number of them from 20 years old and under, because for everyone had said he would increase Israel like the stars of the sky. Joab, the son of Zeruiah, began to number, but didn't finish, and there came wrath for this on Israel. Neither was their number put into the account in the Chronicles of King David. Section 4, from the book of Matthew. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife went to him, saying, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered many things today in a dream because of him." Now the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitudes to ask for Barabbas and destroy Jesus. But the governor answered them, "Which of the two do you want me to release to you?" They said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "What then shall I do to Jesus called Anointed One?" They all said to him, "Let him be crucified." But the governor said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they cried out exceedingly, saying, "Let him be crucified." So when Pilate saw that nothing was being gained, but rather that a disturbance was starting, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, "I am innocent of the blood of this righteous person. You see to it." All the people answered, "May his blood be on us and on our children." Then he released Barabbas to them, but Jesus he flogged and delivered to be crucified. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole garrison together against him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. They braided a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they kneeled down before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. When they had mocked him, they took the robe off him and put his clothes on him and led him away to crucify him. As they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name, and they compelled him to go with them, that he might carry his cross. When they came to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, the place of a skull, they gave him sour wine to drink, mixed with gall. When he tasted it, he would not drink. When they had crucified him, they divided his clothing among them, casting lots, and they sat and watched him there. They set up over his head the accusation against him, written, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then there were two robbers crucified with him, one on his right hand and one on the left. Those who passed by blasphemed him, wagging their heads and saying, "You who destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." Likewise, the chief priests also, mocking with the scribes, the Pharisees, and the elders, said, "He saved others, but he can't save himself. If he is the King of Israel, let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now if he wants him, for he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" The robbers also, who were crucified with him, cast on him the same reproach.